Hey guys, welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of Pepperdine's Pep Talk podcast. My name is Jenna Parcio, and I'm here with our first guest of the year, our new athletic director, Tanner Gardner. Since you are new to Pepperdine, I figured we would start with a little bit of background information about you.
Great.
So, you were a college wrestler, Division I at Stanford. Tell me a little bit about what that was like for you.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Jen. It's great to be on the show, and it's great to share a little bit about myself with the Pepperdine community. So I think I'll start going back to my time in Kansas, where I grew up. I thought I was going to be a basketball player, to be honest with you, but when you're 4'8" as a seventh grader, does it really lend itself to being a basketball player? So I actually was cut from the basketball team in seventh grade, but the middle school PE teacher was the high school wrestling coach, and he invited me to go out for wrestling. And I turned out to be pretty good at it. So it ultimately led to me earning a scholarship to wrestle at Stanford University. My time at Stanford was exceptional. It was a transformational experience for me, shaped who I am as a person today, and it really motivated me to now work in this industry and be able to provide the same experience for our student athletes as I had at Stanford.
Amazing. Well, that all sounds amazing and great, but we do not have wrestling at Pepperdine.
We don't.
So, if you were to be recruited to Pepperdine, what sport do you think would recruit you here?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say the sport that keeps me the busiest today is running. I may not be a competitive runner by the standards of our cross-country track and field team. I think that would be my most likely sport. The sport that I probably wish I could play would be golf. I was a high school golfer. I wasn't particularly good at it, though.
Okay, so with that being said then, do you think if you went out to the alumni golf course that you could make a hole out there?
No comment.
No comment. I need a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, you heard it here first. Yes, on the alumni golf course. Okay, so on that same note, if you had to challenge the Pepperdine basketball team to a 2v2 and you got to pick one person to be on your team, okay, the Stanford Tree, Rice's Sammy the Owl,
Yeah.
or Pepperdine's Willie the Wave, who are you taking to be on your team?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I'm gonna go with Willie the Wave.
Willie the Wave, good answer.
Willie the Wave would overwhelm Sammy the Owl in the tree. The tree would be too silly to even know how to play. Sammy could fly, but as long as the wave can actually reach up and knock down a flying bird. So Willie the Wave would be my partner.
That's probably a good answer. So does the tree have a name? Or is it just the Stanford tree?
No, it's just the Stanford tree.
Just the tree?
One of the more bizarre mascots.
I was going to
that
say,
exist.
I didn't think that a mascot could get weirder than Willie the Wave, but I think Stanford may take it. So what I'm hearing is a 2v2 with you and Willie the Wave, you think that you could take on two Pepperdine men's basketball players?
Well, it depends on who we were playing, but
pick your two.
Unfortunately, I think we might stay in the game for a little bit, but we would quickly be overcome by pure talent and athleticism.
Okay. So, no 2v2 versus David Major with Willie the Wave?
Certainly not if we were in a dunk contest.
Dunk contest? What about a half-court shot?
Well, that levels the playing field a little more. If we did it 100 times, maybe we'd win. But anything less than that, I don't think so.
Okay. We'll go to Jim Gash for the half-court shots then.
He's the best at them.
Yeah. So, talking about the Stanford tree, when you were a student athlete at Stanford, what was the stereotype of Pepperdine and Pepperdine student athletes, if there was any?
Well, Pepperdine doesn't have wrestling, and so my perception of Pepperdine was limited, but the perception was, and I personally experienced in one trip to Malibu, that it was the most beautiful school in America, and kind of the envy of the college students. The students that get to go there get to go to school in paradise, and I have to say, now that I'm here, it's partially true.
Partially?
Well, I would say it's fully true. I'm not a student, so I can't totally speak on that, but as President Gash has reminded me, Pepperdine is the most beautiful campus in America.
Yes. Have you gotten to do any of the Malibu, Pepperdine stereotypical thing since being here? Have you gone out and surfed yet?
We've not surfed, but I've been
Okay.
to the beach a couple times.
Okay.
I went to the Malibu Chili Cook-Off, which if you haven't been, it is a tremendous occasion.
I have. I love it there.
So, and then I've run around campus. I don't know if that is a tradition, but I have done that too.
Where did you run to?
All around.
the stairs?
I've ran the campus, the whole campus loop.
Starting
Up
where?
Up the hill and back. Starting at Firestone Fieldhouse, up around, past the law school, down through TAC, and then down back to Firestone Fieldhouse. I've done the hills. And I've also
sounds
run
like-
up to Heroes Garden.
So, this was the summer of the 2024 Olympics.
Yes.
What is your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
Oof. Well, I think gymnastics is always one of the favorites in the Olympics. I think swimming's fun, track and field's fun. I mean, I'm generally an all sports fan, so it's hard for me to choose a favorite. But I attended the 2008 Olympics. That's the only Olympics I've ever been to. And at that Olympics, women's gymnastics, which they won a gold that year, was my favorite to watch.
Was that Beijing?
It was Beijing, that's correct.
How was that experience?
Awesome. If you haven't gone to the Olympics, I highly recommend doing it. It's definitely should be a bucket list item for any sports fan.
I have not, but 2028 hopefully will be my year.
We can all go there.
Very excited. Did you hear that they're trying to have the beach volleyball courts be in Santa Monica? For the
I
2028?
did hear that, in fact, yes.
Yes, hopefully you can be a part of that.
Well, we hope to be a participant in the Olympics in some form or fashion, and we hope to support the city as we do that.
Speaking of being a participant in the Olympics, Pepperdine had a alumni on the women's soccer team at the Olympics, Lynn Williams. Do you think, she was Pepperdine's star forward at the time, do you think that you could stop a penalty kick from Pepperdine's current star forward, Tori Waldeck?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
No. Well, this is another probability thing. If Tori somehow missed the frame, then yes, I could block her penalty kick. If she hits the frame, then I'm in trouble.
All right. And then also talking about the Olympics, you said you liked watching track.
I do.
Did you see any of the sprinting events this year?
I did.
Noah Lyles in the 100?
Yes.
How fast do you think that you could run a 100 right now?
Oh, 12 seconds.
Oh, that's pretty fast.
Well, we might have to test that out. I might have been off on that, but I would certainly try.
I think we absolutely should test it.
Okay.
I think that's where all of this is going, actually.
Okay, good. We might have to end this at the track.
You heard it here first. So we've talked about all the sports that you feel like you could compete with. What do you think the one sport is that you struggle with the most, definitely could not compete with here at Pepperdine?
I mean, unfortunately, I would say it's basketball. I haven't got much better since 7th grade when I got cut from the team. I'm not particularly good with hand-eye coordination. If you put me on defense, I could play defense only because I'm pretty physical and I can run. But it's probably a mistake to put the ball in my hand for basketball. So I would say that's a sport I'm probably at least good at.
Do you feel like wrestling kind of ties into any other sport, specifically one that we have here?
Ooh, that's a good question. Tennis.
Tennis? Why is that?
Individual sport, one-on-one. You can try to mentally beat your competitor in order to beat them in the game. So you might be able to gain some mental domination over your opponent in a sport like tennis. So
Got it.
yeah.
So what
in terms of the hand-eye
translated-
coordination, though, that's
Okay.
probably far off. But I would go with tennis.
So what I translated from that is you think that you could win a match against Savannah Broadus.
That would be a big mistake for me to try to do something like that. Savannah's as good as they come.
I agree. So I also hear that you are a very big coffee fan.
I'm a huge coffee
You're
fan.
a huge
yeah.
coffee fan.
Yes.
What is the one coffee place from Texas that you miss, that you don't get to go to anymore?
Ooh, what is the one coffee place from Texas that I miss?
Maybe some of our Texas viewers will resonate.
I would say Blacksmith Coffee.
Okay, and what was your order there?
I'm a black coffee guy, so I don't get specialty coffee beverages. One of the reasons, though, I was excited to come to California is Phil's Coffee is one of my favorite coffee places. I tend to make coffee at my house.
Okay.
But if I could go to one place around here, it would be Phil's.
Okay, we have a lot of coffee places in the Country Mart. Have you gotten a chance to try any? Blue Bottle?
I've been to Blue
any of
Bottle.
them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been to Blue Bottle, and
Which
it's good.
is your favorite so far?
Well, I've only been to Blue Bottle, so I
Okay.
would say Blue Bottle is my answer.
Got some
Yeah.
work to do.
I've been to Starbucks too, but Blue Bottle's better, I'm going to say.
That's anywhere.
Yes.
So your order is just black coffee?
I'm not a very interesting coffee person, but I drink a lot of it.
Okay. How many coffees do you think it would take for you to beat one of the Pepperdine swimmers
Ooh.
in a 25-yard swim?
Well, I'm not sure I could beat any of our swimmers in a 25-yard, but if I had 10 cups of coffee, I might have a fighting chance.
10 cups of coffee for fighting chance. And if you lost, do you think that you could give up coffee for a week?
That would be a big mistake.
A big mistake?
Like it would be to try to take on Savannah in tennis.
So my freshman year at Pepperdine, the first men's basketball game that I went to, the first game of the season, I actually remember Pepperdine basketball absolutely destroying Rice in that first game. What do you have to say about that?
Pain. Lots of pain. I remember it, and I think the margin was more than 30 points.
It was.
I remember watching the first half of that game. It started, I think, at 9 o'clock Central, and I intended to watch the whole game, but I have to admit I went to bed at halftime because I couldn't stand to watch anymore. So I thought, if you can't beat them, join them, and here I am today.
That's one heck of a strategy if I said so, and I would beg to differ that Pepperdine's probably a little more beautiful, and this area is a little more beautiful, but that's just me. I'm a little biased.
I agree. Lots of wins incoming here.
Yes, and I would say the weather's better than in Texas.
Unless you like humidity.
I definitely don't.
Nor do I. So thankful that I am now at the most beautiful campus in America.
Well, we really appreciate having you here, and I really hope that you've enjoyed your time so far at Pepperdine, and you're going to continue enjoying your time at Pepperdine. We've loved having you here so far, and thank you for being a guest today on the first episode of Season 3 of Pepp Podcasts.
Thank you for having me. Great to be with you. I look forward to seeing all of our fans out at the events this year, and go Waves.